In this video, I'm going to help you run a faster 5K and hopefully crack that elusive 20-minute barrier in the 5K. Because I think you're going to like it when your 5K PR begins with a 1 instead of a 2. Now, to be able to run a sub 20-minute 5K, we're going to focus on 3 key metrics of performance. Number 1, equivalent race performances, or in other words, how fast you're running other race distances. We're also going to focus on your total workload, your mileage, and the distance of your long run. And finally, we're going to talk about pacing, both for your workouts and your easy runs. Taken together, these metrics are going to tell us whether or not you're ready to make a stab at that sub 20 attempt. Now, we're interested in these things because these are external indicators of success. We can't have any idea what you might be capable of without understanding your training and your current ability level and what you're able to do in other race distances, whether that's the mile, the 10K, or even the half marathon. So these metrics are the important ones. Because once we know what these metrics are, once we understand where your equivalent race performances are, what your training is like, and how fast you're doing your workouts and easy runs, now we understand what you're capable of. And we understand the steps that you can take to start increasing your likelihood of racing that sub 20. So in this video, what I want to do is better explain these 3 metrics, give you an action plan for what to start focusing on first, and an example workout that you can do that will give you a really good idea of whether or not you're ready to make a crack at that sub 25K. All right, let's discuss the most important one first. This is equivalent race performances, what you're capable of in other race distances. Now, as you can imagine, if you can only run 65 minutes for 10K, you're probably not the type of person who's ready for a sub 25K attempt. You simply don't have the ability yet, but that doesn't mean you can't get there. So when it comes to equivalent race performances, we want to be running times that are roughly equivalent in their level of competitiveness as a 1959 5K. So what does that look like? Well, in the 10K, that's about 41 minutes. In the half marathon, that's about 91 or 92 minutes. And in the marathon, it's about a 3:12 to 3:15 finish. All of these finish times are roughly equivalent. So if you've run a 3:12 marathon, or if you've run a 41-minute 10K, but you haven't given a shot at that sub 25K, then I think you're ready. You just need to put in some good training and you'll get there. Now, this is why I often tell runners to focus on other distances besides their primary distance. It's very common among marathoners to only focus on 26.2 miles if they're chasing a sub 4 or a Boston qualifying time, for example. But training is training, and fitness is fitness. Getting faster in any race distance carries over to other race distances. Fitness is fitness after all, and if you're getting faster no matter the event, that means you're getting faster no matter the event. The next thing that we're going to look at is your training. Because now that you're trying to go after a sub 25K, you're starting to have a pretty competitive goal. And to match that competitive goal, you have to be doing training that's at a fairly competitive level. So what exactly is competitive level training? First, let me say that it's not excuse making. If you're targeting a very competitive goal, then you can't have excuses that are very common among beginner runners or those who don't train very seriously. So if you find yourself saying, I didn't do my run today because it was too hot, it was cold, I was tired, I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning, I had other things to do, that's not the mindset of a competitive runner. If you want these competitive goals, you have to put in the work no matter what. Now, besides the general consistency of more competitive runners, there's also the training itself. So the mileage levels are going to be higher. Mileage is probably going to be 40 miles a week or more. Workouts are going to be done once or twice a week regularly. And long runs are going to be done almost every weekend and definitely in the double digits. These kinds of training metrics indicate to me as a coach that this runner is putting in the work and they're probably ready for more competitive race times. Training PRs usually come before race PRs. So let's focus on the training first, and that sub 25K will come. All right, finally, let's talk about pacing. because pacing is another indication of your ability level, of your fitness level, and what you're running for both your easy runs and for your workouts is going to tell us if you're ready for an attempt at a sub 25K. So when it comes to your easy pace, if you're running somewhere between 7:30 and 8:30 per mile, and that pace is truly easy for you, then that tells me you probably have the fitness to train for and execute a sub 25K. And then of course there's your workouts. Now, if you're capable of running your tempo runs around 6:45 per mile, and again, this is an appropriate pace, you're not stretching yourself too thin to accomplish this, and you're also capable of doing roughly 2 to 3 miles worth of faster intervals at about a 6:15 to 6:30 mile pace average, this also tells me that you're in the ballpark of a sub 25K. All right, now that we've established that your training workload, the pace of your workouts and long runs and easy runs and other race distances are really the barometers of what you're capable of, the next question becomes, how do you get faster? Which one do you focus on first to help yourself improve and continue progressing? Well, first, let me just say that your pacing, whether that's in a workout or an easy run or even during a race, these are outcomes. These are outcomes that happen because of your training, because of your fitness level. So you shouldn't try to improve by running your easy runs really fast or just trying harder in a workout or a race. These things come, but they come with time, and they have to come after you focus on training first. So here's how you do it. Number one, get your mileage up to about 40 miles per week. Stay there. Be consistent with it. Get comfortable with 40 miles a week so that when you do start training for a sub 25K, you can even run more than 40 miles per week. Start doing a workout every week. If you can consistently do a faster workout every week, that's going to give your coach or you more flexibility with planning more challenging workouts that you're going to need to run that sub 25K. And then finally, there's your long run. Definitely work on running a long run almost every weekend and work on getting that distance up into the double digits. I know you're only training for a 5K, but I think when we look at some Olympic milers and how they run up to 20 miles for their long run, it just goes to show that aerobic development is the key for success at distance races. And yes, the 5K is a distance event. And while you're doing all this training, run some races. Run 5Ks. Run races shorter than 5K. Run races longer than 5K. Always work on practicing the skill of racing. And once you've started building that skill, you can work on gradually chipping off time from all of these race distances. Because fitness is fitness, and if you're getting faster in the 10K or the mile or the half marathon, that means you're getting faster in the 5K too, even if you haven't raced one. All right, let's end by talking about a 5K specific workout. Now, this is a challenging workout. It's going to give you an idea of whether or not you're ready to race 5K in under 20 minutes. But it's not a workout that you should jump into tomorrow. Definitely work your way up to this kind of a challenge. Don't jump right into it. So the workout is 3 times a mile at your goal 5K pace of 6:25, and you're going to take a 1 to 2 minute recovery after each mile. A workout like this is just about the same mileage as a 5K race, and it's at the same pace as a sub 25K. You're going to get a little bit of recovery, but the idea is that on race day, when you're tapered, when you're fresh, when you're caffeinated, then you're going to be able to really pull out a great race and accomplish that pace for the entire 3.1 miles. Now, an easier version of this workout is 6 by 800 meters at your goal 5K pace with 1 to 2 minutes recovery. You'll see it's the same amount of work, 3 miles total, and it's at the same pace. But the difference is that you're getting more recovery breaks in between those faster repetitions. And with an approach like this, you can very strategically and methodically inch yourself closer to that sub 25K. Work on your mileage. Be consistent with your running and your workouts. Get your long run up. Focus on racing other distances so that you're always working on getting faster. This kind of approach is going to help you crack that sub 20 barrier. I I hope you found this video helpful. If it was for you, go ahead and pass it on to another runner who might have an ambitious goal like running a sub 25K.